Hi guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this video. Today, we're going to talk about some hot topics. We are going to look at the real cost of decorative planning. I have worksheets, I have charts, I have totals, I have data about how much money I spent doing decorative planning in 2025 and in 2024, and we're going to go through it. We're going to look at it. We are going to pull the curtain back, and we're just going to have some real, honest, frank conversation. Before I get into it, I just want to say, please keep in mind that everything I talk about today in this video relates to me and my experiences, and I don't have any intent to throw shade on anybody or to talk negative about anybody or anything that's happening in the planning community. You guys know that's not the way I roll. But I do believe in transparency and figuring out good ways forward. So yes, I will be talking about consumerism. Yes, I will be talking about influencers and their impact on consumerism in the planning community. I will be talking about affordability and accessibility and inclusion or lack thereof in this community. So please don't take it personal. I was going to script this video, and I decided not to do that because I don't ever script videos. So we're just going to get it rolling. Okay. Let's get into it. I'm going to move some of this stuff out the way because we're going to take this little by little. You guys saw the thumbnail. I spent a lot of money in 2025. And when I saw the number, I was a little bit shocked. And then I looked at the 2024 number and I started to feel better because I have made some very big improvements, and we're going to go through all that today. So let's get right into the digits, okay? Let's get right into the numbers. Let's talk about total. We're going to start with the big mama, the total of what I spent in 2024 and 2025. And I have a page off to the side that I'm going to reference. So let's get into it. Guys, I slant my paper when I write, so I apologize about that. 2024, the total I spent on decorative planning was, drum roll please, $4,526.97. I'm gonna pause and let that sink in. That is a crazy number to me. And I'm not going to say I was heartbroken when I saw that. I'm not even going to say I had regret, but we're going to talk through how this comes to be, because this doesn't make sense. And I'm just going to tell y'all that, at least for me. Like I said, I'm talking about for me. That doesn't make sense. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about how this happened, at least in my life. Because it's happening to a lot of people in this community in a lot of different ways for a lot of different reasons, and people don't come out and they don't say it. They don't say why they leave the community. Maybe there's fear, there's shame, whatever. No ma'am, we're gonna get into this today. So 2025, let's look at that 2025 number. Keep in mind we are only in the middle of November, so I did 2025 through the end of October. What I have spent in 2025 is $2,925.04. That's a super high number too, but look how much lower it is than 2024. And even though we're not through 2025, I'm not going to spend $1,500 before the end of the year. I might spend $200, maybe $300 more dollars because I do need to get through Black Friday. And I do have things to buy, but that's going to be about it. I've bought most of my supplies and planners for 2026. I purchased early this year, so this is not going to go up that much. Like I said, maybe $300, but I even doubt $300. It's probably going to go up about $200. Let's do some breakdowns, you guys. First, let me say on a positive note, I am using my Pentel Sparkle Pop glitter pens. I generally don't use these in my planner because they do smear, and you don't want to use that in your planner. But whenever I write outside of my planner, I love to use fun pens. Okay, so what did I buy? I have this broken down by category for each year. And I'm just going to write in the numbers, and I'm going to talk through each category and talk about the type of things that I bought in that category and why I bought those items and why the cost is so high. So let's look at 2024. In 2024, I spent $95.99 on accessories for my planners. Now, for me, accessories are things like discs, bookmarks, dividers, stuff like that, especially in 2024, because I was not making my own planners for all of 2024. So that's what accessories include. In 2025, I spent $59.67 so far. Now, this number will probably end up matching this $95.99. Let's talk about why this number is kind of low, right? It's kind of low because I really didn't buy a ton of accessories in 2024. And that's just what it was. In 2024, I wasn't making my own planners. I was buying full planners and franken planning, like a whole bunch of planners together. So I just didn't have a need to buy as many accessories. In 2025, I bought a lot more accessories, even though the number right now is low. It'll probably jump up toward the end of the year. But I didn't start making my planners until around Q2 in 2025. So this isn't really a whole year of me making my planners. Okay, planners. In 2024, I spent $1,233.71 on planners. I have to be careful with this pen because, like I said, it smears. But I really wanted to use my pretty pens. See, that pretty pen issue is why these numbers are so high. Okay, but anyways, $1,233.71. That's buying a planner. Y'all, that's ridiculous. For me. Well, I think it's ridiculous for anybody, if I'm being truthful. But I'm talking about me here. And that's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous amount. And I will say this. I realized in 2024 how ridiculous it was. Or I should say the beginning of 2025. And I thought back over 2024 and I was like, I got to come up with something else. I have to do something different because that doesn't make sense to me. And it doesn't. I can't justify that. In 2025, I have only spent $455.43. That is a huge decrease, and let's talk about that and why that is. $455.43 is still a lot, and I'm still working to get that even lower. But that is a huge drop from 2024, and I will not spend $800 in planners between now and the end of December. I don't even anticipate buying any more planners because I bought early. Again, I bought early this year. So a huge drop. Why did that drop so much? It dropped because in 2025, around Q2, like I said, I realized that I overspent in 2024. And I overspent because I thought I had to keep up with the Joneses. And I didn't think about that at the time. This is in reflection. But I would watch, influencers, and they had all these amazing hauls and everything was so perfect. I saw all the planner stack videos at the end of 2024, people having 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 planners, combining them into one. And I thought, okay, I want to do that too. I'm not going to claim that I was naive and thought I needed 12 planners. I have common sense. I know I don't need 12 planners. But being a part of this community, I thought, okay, I want to do that too. I want to be in the community. I want to be a part of the in crowd, even though, I'm at home. I'm not talking to anybody about it, but you still get that feeling. And like I said, I'm being very upfront, honest, and transparent. We all get that feeling to a certain degree. And so I thought I needed, going into 2024, 10 or 12 planners too, right? To put together the perfect planning system. And I went through the first quarter and I was changing my planner like every 2 weeks, because you know what? There is no perfect planning system. And those 10 or 12 planners, they didn't make the perfect planning system. So I had to keep buying planners and keep trying this. And I said, no, I'm not going to do it anymore. What I am going to do is stop and figure out what I need in my planning. And at that time, I was making Planning by Eva videos. I didn't start this channel to the end of 2024. So you guys didn't see my whole 2024 journey. But around March of this year, I really leaned into printing my own planners and doing self-reflection about my planner needs. I started posting planner needs worksheets, giving them away on my channel for free, and I really started to push hard for people to look at their planner needs before buying planners. And I still promote that. I just did a planner need and self-reflection video a couple weeks ago. I think it is the linchpin for what took me from $1,200 down to $455. Because I started to be more intentional. And I still enjoyed influencers, right? I still enjoy them today. And like I said, no shade. I'm not casting shade. But influencers play a huge role in the over-consumerism in this community, because they are getting products for free. They are getting gifted hundreds and thousands of dollars of product over the year. And yes, when they do one video, they will say, oh, this was gifted to me, I'm an affiliate, when they go through the flip throughs. But every other video they post, they're not going to say it. And I don't blame them for that, because why should they, right? You need to know that they're putting together that perfect planning system, or they have the perfect color red box to go with their 10 books of red stickers, because they were given to them. And yes, they may have said it when they did the flip throughs, but they're not going to say it every video when they're just looking for that box of Mojo Jojo books that she sent them 2 years ago. You're just going to assume, I need that perfect red box too. Let me go buy 5 books of red boxes, because I may run across needing this shade of red. So let me get off my soapbox about that, because I don't want to be on a soapbox. I still watch influencers. People could consider me an influencer at this point, because I do have a channel and I do promote things on my channel, even though I'm not affiliated with any company and I don't get free products, but still. So this video is not about attacking influencers. It's about being aware of where you may be experiencing over-consumerism and participating in it. And for me, I had that awareness in March. And that's why this number is so much lower than it was in 2024, because I changed my approach after having that awareness. And that is what I really want to talk about on my channel, in all my videos and things that I share. Be intentional, be aware of what you're doing. Don't point fingers, don't cast blame. We're all adults. We all make decisions, but make decisions being well informed and aware of what's happening. Okay, so let's talk about stickers. This one is crazy town. I spent in 2024 $1,421.92 on stickers. In 2025, I spent $911.22 on stickers. If you are shocked by seeing these numbers, girl, I am too. I am too. I'm going to tell you. I'm not even trying to hide it. I don't like this number. Now, I love stickers, and I'm going to keep buying stickers. Okay, so I'm very pleased that it's significantly lower in 2025 than 2024, but it needs to come down even lower. This is too much. And this is 4 stickers. Once I do the supply number, I'll talk to you about how I segmented these numbers. So this is not estimating. This is for sticker purchases. And that's too much in my opinion. That is too much. And I am taking accountability and ownership for my actions. I spent too much on stickers. Nobody made me spend this money on stickers but me. And I spent too much. So I don't even know what to say about that. There is nothing to say. There's nothing to say about that. The number is there. The number is there. And we're going to get into the breakdowns of these, and you're going to see where I spent this money, because yeah, it's there. Supplies. I spent $1,775.35 on supplies in 2024. In 2025, I spent $1,498.72. Really high numbers again. Now, I will say again, lowered the cost, not by a lot. This doesn't surprise me that much because 2025, I just went through that. I just told you that in 2025 is when I decided to print my own planners. So I started to buy a ton of supplies. What goes into the supplies category for me are things like paper. I didn't spend $1,400 on paper, y'all. It was other things, but papers, discs, covers, plastic dividers, those type of things. So those are the supplies that I need to put my planner together. It's also applies for restocks, like ink restocking, tape, all that type of stuff. And yeah, it came up to $1,400 to about $1,500 for 2025. Like I said, if you're shocked by these numbers, girl, me too. What can I say? The dangers of overconsumerism. Now, what I do want to point out that, and I said this, so I'm not going to belabor the point, but I did make a mindset change this year. So this number will be lower in 2026. And in fact, the bottom part of this sheet, as you see, it is my 2026 budget plan. So we're going to talk about how I plan to get these numbers even lower. So let's dig into these numbers a little bit more, you guys. On a positive note, what I do want to say to you is that I made some really good gains in 2025 by reducing my cost to participate in this community. And that was intentional. And so that is a goal checked off for 2025. Going from spending $4,500 to $2,900 was not easy. And that was an intentional decrease. And so in 2026, I intend to decrease that even further. I am breaking these chains of consumerism. And that is a positive thing to me. So going through these numbers is not about being negative. It's about showing improvement. And again, being aware of what's happening in the community and how you're participating in the community. So quickly, before we get into the chart breakdowns, what I want to say about how I got these numbers. I went through all of my purchases from all of my checking accounts, all of my shop accounts. I saw item level. I took the item level details to break this up by category. So I'm not really estimating. You see, these numbers have cents on them because I took these numbers directly from the funds and receipts that I spent. So they are not estimates. They are real, and they are separated by the type of purchases that I bought. That's all I can say about that. Another thing I want to kind of highlight and point out, which I have pointed out again, so I'm trying to move. This is going to be a lot in this video, so I'm trying to move through it pretty quickly. But this planner reduction was amazing. And this is a result of printing my own planners. So we're going to talk about the cost of printing planners today. And I have a follow-up video that breaks down everything you need to print planners and what the true cost of that is as well, because that can be expensive if you've never done it. But for me, it was a huge, huge savings. So that's what I want to say about that. Let's go ahead and pull out some of these charts, you guys. Yes, ma'am. Your girl got charts. You know it. We are going to put this printout over to the side, and we are going to look at some charts. Let me zoom in because the font is kind of small. So give me a minute and let me zoom. Okay, this is a lot better. So these charts are basically breaking down how I spent my money. And it gives a visual representation, how and when I spent my money. So it took those totals, right, that we just went over for 2024, and I just dug deep into, you know, where was I spending that money and when was I spending it? And I did the same thing for 2025. So it's based on these totals. Now, on all of these charts, except the shop type, and I'll talk about that one. All of these charts, the purple bar is 2024. And the blue, this is supposed to be teal, but it looks blue on camera, I think. This blue is 2025. And I'll say that several times to remind you. So let's get into it and let's talk through what happened. So 2024, that's kind of my banner year. That's my benchmark year. I won't go over them specifically necessarily. I'm going to look at trends. So one trend I'm going to highlight, if you only look at the purple, you see I spent about $1,300 in Q1, about $1,100 in Q2, $850 in Q3, and then another $1,100 in Q4. I was going up and down throughout the year. That is due to indecision. I've mentioned it before on this channel, and that is be intentional about how you're planning. Stop and reflect on what you're buying, and that will help you take uncertainty and indecision out of your purchase decisions. I was going up and down because I couldn't settle on one thing. And I was watching videos and I was watching the hauls, and every haul there was something new, and I thought I needed that something new too. And it was up and down, up and down, up and down. And that's what jumps out to me in 2024, right? There's just this constant roller coaster ride. And I know you guys have experienced it. I know you have felt it, because we wouldn't have a consumerism problem in this community if it was just me. And make no mistake, we do have a consumerism problem in this community. Now, again, this isn't about pointing fingers, because it is a collective problem. Okay, we all participate in it. So it's not just one person or one type of person or anything like that. It is collective. So we want, or I'm not gonna say we, on my channel, what I try to do, what I want to do for myself and help others do, is make this community more affordable. You can have the joy of decorative planning, the peace, the comfort, the security, whatever it is for you, you can have that without spending this much money. So keeping this community affordable, being upfront, being transparent about what's happening, that's really important to me. Keeping the community accessible. Not everybody has this money, right? This did not break me. It didn't. I have the money to pay for it. There's nothing I can say about it. I can afford to pay it. And I did pay it. But I can also look at it and be realistic and say, this is too much. This is too much. I don't care if I had $20 million. That's too much. Right? So being upfront and also keeping the community accessible, because not everybody can spend that. And not everybody is going to be able to buy every single thing. And we have to figure out ways to make it more accessible to more people. And then that leads me to inclusion. That's really important as well. It's about being inclusive, not exclusive, right? You shouldn't have to be retired with a husband who's making mid six figures and you don't have to work for you to plan. Come on now. What about the mid-professionals, the younger people who plan as well, and they are still working 9 to 5, they're still trying to get to that point? Let's keep them involved as well, right? So anyway, this is the chart for the quarter. Like I said, what I'm really highlighting is the up and down. So personally, this was being indecisive, and that's my fault. I didn't do planner reflections last year. I just went with the flow, and you can see that. Now let's look at the 2025 totals. What I notice here is that if you remember the story I told earlier in the video, 2025, quarter one, I spent about $800. Quarter two, about $1,200. Quarter three, about $600. And quarter four, so far I've only spent $188. So I don't have the up and down. This chart matches my story. I started in quarter one, January through March, buying, and it wasn't working. I realized around March, hey, my planners are not working. I bought all those planners at the end of 2024. I planned 10 planners into one, and it's not working. I need to try something else. So I had a temporary boost in quarter two in spending because I had to buy something else. I started to make my own planners. I took several planners out of my system, but I did buy a couple of planners. I was kind of on the search to see what would work for me. I was doing my planner reflections, and I was trying a few different things to just see what was going to work. I knew I needed to make a change. So this is exploration. Again, it wasn't indecision, but this was a little bit of exploration. I had to figure it out, and it took money to figure it out. Then in quarter three, I got into a rhythm, right? I wasn't just spending just to spend. I was still watching the videos and the hauls. And let me tell you, and I'm sure you guys can relate, 2025 planner hauls from influencers, planner releases from shops, out of control. It was a new release every single week. People doing planning videos, they were only doing planning hauls. You can even see them plan. And they couldn't because they had scheduled videos that needed to go up, videos they were committed to putting up for their sponsors. So that's all we were getting for so long in 2025. I cut those ties. After Q2. And the way I did it is I focused on my own planner needs. And I still enjoy hauls. You got hauls on my channel are the most popular videos on my channel. And I will keep doing them because I focus more on affordable options and thinking outside the box. And again, my goal on this channel is to make the planning community more accessible and inclusive. So that's what my hauls focus on. But I'm like everybody else. I love to see hauls. I love to see the new planners. And I watch the videos and I'm like, I could really use that planner. I could really use that planner. But knowing what I need, I don't buy it anymore. I watch and enjoy it for the entertainment. A lot of the influencers are very calm. I find them very creative. I enjoy watching them, and that is all I get from them. So in quarter four, I'm all the way down to 188. Now this is going to jump up probably to about 450 by the end of the year to get through Black Friday when I buy more supplies. But this is a huge mindset shift, and I love seeing this chart. Okay, let's take a look at another chart. The other charts are going to go a little bit quicker. So this is a chart that goes over my store breakdowns, right? So I'm not going to go too much into this because there are a lot of stores that I bought from. And I actually have this in two different formats because it's kind of hard to see in that format. I have it in the chart format, and I also just have a list. So let's look at the chart format first. What I really kind of want to highlight here is that in 2024, again, 2024 is purple, 2025 is blue. So in 2024, I spent $2,100 at Amazon on my planner supplies. I bought the majority of my planner supplies at Amazon because I hadn't gotten into the smaller shops. And I'm not beholden to the smaller shops. I am a fan of buying what is most affordable for your budget, period, end of story. I don't care where it comes from. So if that's Amazon, that's Amazon. If it's a smaller shop, it's a smaller shop. But I really didn't buy from smaller shops in 2024. I'm just one of those people, I don't like the extensive shipping and all of that stuff. So I'm more prone to buy from Amazon. But I did buy more from smaller shops in 2025. I bought some stuff from Erin Condren. Happy Planner was probably my next largest expense in 2024 at about $600, kind of tied with Live Love Posh. I've said before, I'm a Live Love Posh girl all the way. I love Live Love Posh sticker books. And I tend to buy from smaller shops when they have their clearance sales. But I definitely bought a significant amount from Live Love Posh because I love her sticker books. And then some of the other smaller shops, Kelva Plan, I bought a little bit, about $100 last year. So if I switch over to some of the more mass market shops, Hobby Lobby, I spent about $300. Hobby Lobby was a go-to store for me. It turned into a go-to store for me in 2024. Michael's, a go-to store for me. I buy a lot of discount planners at Michael's. I don't buy that much at Office Depot and Staples. They don't tend to have great discounts or selection, so that's generally always really low. In 2025, I had some significant changes though. I only spent $6.93 on Amazon in 2025. I love that for me. Love that for me, and I love that for Jeff Bezos. Because I'm tired of giving that man my money. So what I mostly bought from Amazon were supplies, because that's, to me, is still the most affordable place to get a lot of things like my ink and my paper and stuff like that. I kind of got away from buying planners and things from Amazon in 2025. Haven't bought anything from Erin Condren yet. Why? Because I'm no longer in that indecisive mode. Am I going to do Erin Condren? Am I going to do Happy Planner? Am I going to do Coil? Am I going to do Disc? Am I going to do this? Am I going to do that? I'm not there anymore. I know what works for me, period. End of story. I don't care what anybody has to say about who's better. Happy Planner, Erin Condren, Plum Paper. I don't care. I know what works for me. And so I'm not searching anymore. And I love me some Erin Condren. I used Erin Condren planners, but Happy Planner with their disc bound system. I shouldn't even say Happy Planner. Disc bound systems work better for me. And that's not happening with Erin Condren. I think they may offer some disc bound stuff, but I don't like their layouts for planning either. So it's not going to happen for me. Doesn't mean I won't buy something from them, because I'll probably buy accessories. I love their accessories. I love their little notebooks. So that type of stuff is what I typically will buy from Erin Condren. My Happy Planner total went up this year to about $1,000. I get a lot of supplies from Happy Planner. I usually get them on clearance. Hobby Lobby went down, and it's going to keep going down because they no longer carry Happy Planner supplies and disc bound supplies. Joanne went to zero because we all know what happened to Joanne. Kelva Plan went up. I love I love the quality of Kelva Plan's paper. And I tried some of her planners earlier in the year. So I was buying a lot from Kelva Plan early in the year. I don't buy nearly as much now because, again, I'm almost 85% at the point where I make all of my planners. Or I should say that another way. I make about 85% of my planners now. So the only thing I really would be getting from Kelva Plan at this point are sticker books. Some of her sticker books are great. I still prefer Live Love Posh. So it is what it is. Live Love Posh is at $320. This is probably what's going to go up the end of the year, because I am going to buy on their Black Friday sales. That is how I save a lot of money with all of the shops, but especially the small shops. I buy for the entire year during Black Friday sales. So take Live Love Posh. I can almost guarantee you that she's not going to have her winter books on any type of discount for Black Friday. But her fall, summer, spring, 2024 winter books, which she's not going to have, I don't think she has a lot left, they are what's going to be on sale. So I'm going to buy spring, summer, and fall, and I will use it next year. Will I get a lot of winter stuff? No, because it's probably not going to be on sale. Michael's, I spent a lot less in Michael's. Again, I'm making my own planners now, and you see Office Depot and Staples is just about nothing. Okay, let's look at this in a different format. I'm not going to linger on this one. This is just for those who like to see things a little bit differently. You can see kind of the raw numbers here. It's organized alphabetically, but my largest expense, $2,100 in 2024, was Amazon. Right now, my largest expense in 2025 is Happy Planner. Mindset shift. Okay, that's I keep preaching that, pushing that. Mindset shift. So that kind of shows that. Let's talk about the type of shops. Really quick, in 2024, I did about 83% of my shopping at mass market stores, your Amazons, your Hobby Lobby, Happy Planner. I consider Happy Planner a mass market store, and about 17% small shop. 2025, I'm at about 30% small shop, so that almost doubled, and I'm at about 70% for mass market. So that's the breakdown of shops. Let me just say here, because I mentioned this earlier, and I want to be really clear on when I say this, because I'm a small shop, you guys. I have a shop. I have a Planning by Eva shop, and I believe in supporting small shops, but with the caveat of supporting small shops based on your available income. Okay, that's the key. Support small shops based on your available income. So if you can't afford that $40 sticker book at Live Love Posh, you can probably find something very similar for $12 on Amazon. And that's what you need to do if that's what's in your budget. That's what I do. I buy what's most affordable wherever it is. And I know people are going to come on here and be like, well, I support small shops because XYZ. Okay, I do too. But I make my decisions based on my pocketbook, not because I like somebody. And I have to do that. So I just wanted to point that out. The next chart that I want to look at is my supply and accessory breakdown chart. And this is going to kind of transition us into the 2026 budget and intro into printing costs. So when I looked at those numbers, I wanted to know not just where I was spending it, but what types of things was I really buying. So this isn't the total number, right? This is just certain categories that I pulled out. So this doesn't include miscellaneous type stuff. I just kind of pulled out specific categories that I wanted to know more about, that were important for my decision making. So this doesn't represent the full 4,000 or 2,000. This is just specific categories I wanted to target. So paper. I actually have spent about the same this year in 2025. Remember, 2025 is blue, 2024 is purple. I spent about the same on paper each year. And that makes sense. Although I will probably go up a little bit on paper because, again, I'm running out a little bit quicker because I'm making my own planners. But printing paper, because I print inserts, it lasts a long time, right? So that is almost, it's not quite static, but it's not going to be much variation from year to year. I actually expect my paper costs to go up a little bit. So, yeah. Ink, pretty much the same. My ink lasts me throughout an entire year, actually about a year and a half. So, not that much difference when for my ink supply from year to year. Let me say this really quick. I'm going to get into this more when I get to my printing cost video, which is a follow-up video to this one. I will just say I did upgrade my printer to reduce my cost in ink. When I first started printing inserts, which was around 2023, I would print an insert here or there. I wasn't printing full planners. In 2024, I would print an insert here or there. I wasn't printing full planners. But even just printing a few inserts per week, my inkjet printer was costing me hundreds of dollars a year for ink, because I had to buy a cartridge like every month and a half, and they were like 40 some bucks. Now I only paid like $60 for the printer, and it was like 10 years old. It printed perfectly well. It was fine. I loved it, but the cost was unbearable. So I purposely upgraded my printer in 2024, and I went to a tank printer, and that's why my ink cost is so low. One box of ink, liquid ink that I put in my tank lasts me about a year and a half. I paid more than $60 for the printer. I think I paid about $200, but it's been worth it. Okay, printing accessories. I had about $358 in 2024 and about $147 in 2025. The 2024 is elevated because, like I said, I bought a new printer in 2024. And it was $200. So if you take that printer out, it'll be about the same as 2025. Sticker paper, I spent a little bit more in 2024 than I did in 2025, primarily because what I was printing the most of in 2024 was stickers. I didn't print nearly as many stickers this year, but you know what? See, this is how come you need to look at your numbers, because all this stuff makes sense, honestly. It really does. If I take a look back at this sheet, right? This is why my sticker cost is still kind of high, because I really didn't print many stickers. And so I need to figure out a way to reduce that. Not that I want to print a ton of stickers, because it can be tough printing stickers. I won't even lie. But I definitely switched to printing more planner inserts than stickers. So I wasn't buying as much sticker paper. That's the point I'm trying to make. Okay, these are my chart breakdowns, you guys. I hope you found that helpful. Let's talk a little bit about my plan for 2026. So we're going to bring this back out. Okay, my plan for 2026, guys. We're right here at this point. We're talking about the budget plan. I need to pull this back down. I need to reduce this cost down further than it is now. I did a good job. Let me see exactly. I'm going to estimate what percentage I saved. I was able to reduce my cost from 2024 to 2025 by approximately 35%. That's huge. That's huge. So I need to make another reduction in 2026 because this is still too much. As great as that is, and I'm patting myself on the back, this is still too much. It's just too much. And I need to figure out a way to reduce that. So let's talk about what that's going to look like in 2026. I've mentioned several times, if you watch my videos, you know I have really ramped up printing my own planners. In fact, for 2026, my work planner will be completely printed by me. My reading planner, completely printed by me. The only functional planner, like planner that I use frequently, that I actually bought is for my catch-all, because I do love the parenting layout. And this will probably be the last year that I buy the parenting layout, because I can make a very similar layout myself. I just didn't want to do it this year. So I went ahead and bought a parenting layout for 2026. So that will be my catch-all. But all the other sections in my catch-all, I print all of those inserts. I no longer am buying 12 Happy Planner planners to go in one catch-all. No ma'am, no ma'am, no ma'am, no ma'am, no ma'am. The sections in my planner, I will be printing. I'm talking about my well-being section, my faith section, my goals section, my annual section, my project planning section, my memory keeping section. Eva will be printing those, okay? I am not buying 10 planners to create a section in one planner, because that's how I got here. And it didn't work. That's the biggest thing. Let me just say this. If it works for you, it works for you. Keep doing you and love it. Enjoy it. Embrace it. Own it if it works for you. Nobody has anything to say about it. It didn't work for me. It didn't work for me. I tried it. I fell into the bucket. I fell into the well of what other people were doing. I tried it for the whole first quarter of this year, and it didn't work. It didn't work. So not doing it in 2026. Let's talk about what I am doing, because again, the goal is to reduce that $2,900. I'm focusing on printing my own planners. So one of my costs is going to be ink, and I'm going to estimate these costs, you guys. My cost of ink to print a year's worth of planners is $30 for one tank of ink. And like I said, my printer gets me about 9,000 pages per tank. One refill pack of ink gives me about a tank and 3/4. I can print for 18 months, printing without even thinking about ink, printing whatever I want to print for $30. So I'm only going to need one of those next year. So my budget for that is going to be about $30. Oh, I should have had a total here. I knew I was going to mess up something on these sheets, but that's okay. Paper. Printing my own planners, I use a lot of paper. I buy premium paper. I am a paper snob. I live by the budget. Don't get me wrong. I live by the budget and I love to save money. But when it comes to paper and pens, I'm going to buy the best I can afford, because that's a thing for me. I love it. And you need to find joy and stuff. Don't ever cheat yourself out of your joy. Even as I do this, that's why I said before, if it works for you to franken-plan 12 planners, don't let me stop your joy based on what I'm saying. Keep your joy. That's your own. So for me, it's good quality paper and pens. That's joyful to me. So I keep that. So I spend $20 per pack of 500 sheets of paper. That's pretty expensive for just regular white paper. And during the year, it takes me approximately 3 packs of paper. That's what I'm estimating. It took about two-ish packs this year, because I didn't really start printing printing planners at the beginning of the year. So next year I'm going to budget for 3 packs to print all my planners. That's all of my planners for the year. Okay, I just want to say something to you. That's all of my planners for the year. Look how much I spent on planners in 2025. Down to this. Come on now. Come on now. You see how the budget working? You see how it's pulling together? Okay. Specialty paper. Specialty paper is stuff like my sticker paper. I use vellum in my planners. I don't buy a ton of that, but I do buy vellum. I do buy cardstock paper. I don't buy a ton of that per year, but I do buy it. And I probably will restock twice. And so I'm going to budget $100 for the year. These budgets are not for a month. This is for the entire year. And this is based on how I use these products, right? So that's $100. But if I think about how I use these products, I buy scrapbook pads like this. I have this sitting out for my printing video, but I buy scrapbook pads like this. I know I have it zoomed in. You really can't see it. From Michael's, $4.99. I'm not going to buy $200 worth of $4.99 scrapbook pads and has 48 sheets. No, ma'am. Now, I'm going to buy more than one, but I'm not going to buy a ton, right? Probably during the year, maybe 5, if that. So that, and then I buy vellum. That's the type of specialty paper that I'm talking about here. So this is reasonable. Accessories. I do spend a lot on accessories. And I will probably, that's going to be one of my bigger categories. Accessories are things like the discs I use to make my planners. The planner dividers, like the clear frosted cover dividers. I do buy those things. And I buy a lot of that because you need those things if you're going to make your planner. It makes your planner easier to organize. You get more engaged with it. And so for the whole year, though, I shouldn't really be spending more than $250. And that's kind of being generous because I have a lot of that stuff already. But when I do buy from stores like Happy Planner, Live, Love, Posh, Keleva Plan, those are the types of things that I do look at. I look at their covers, their vegan leather covers, and I buy it when it's on clearance because I'm not going to spend $50 for a vegan leather cover. But that's the type of stuff that I buy. And that's why when you see my hauls, there's so many supply items in my hauls. Stickers. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm not going to buy stickers. Y'all lost your mind. I love stickers. It's decorative. It's called decorative planning, y'all. But do I need to spend $911 on stickers? No. So this is probably going to be my toughest line item to hit for the year. Sticking to only $300 on stickers. But I think I can do it because let me be really clear. This is only for stickers. It's not for the accessories that I also buy or the specialty paint. This is just stickers. That's it. So this is gonna be a challenge on the stickers. The other stuff, not a challenge. The stickers, a challenge. Planners. Yes, I do still buy planners. I would be telling you a lie if I said I don't still buy planners and I'm not going to buy a planner in 2026. That would be a lie. And one thing about doing budgets is that you want to be transparent with yourself about your own budget. Don't lie to yourself. Don't ever lie to yourself about your budget. You don't got to tell anybody what your budget is, but don't lie to yourself about your budget. So I'm not going to lie to myself. I am still going to buy planners in 2026, right? I still watch the videos. I still watch the hauls. I still do all of that. But I don't need to spend $1,200 on planners. I only spent $455 this year. I think taking this down to $250 is reasonable. Okay. If I can meet these goals, I'm actually going to use a different color pen because I forgot to write down, make a totals column. If I can meet these goals, my total for 2026 should be $990. If I can meet that budget goal. Down from 29. Guys, do you think I can do it? I don't know. It's going to be tough. I will tell you this. This is the number I'm going to work with. If I don't make it, I don't make it. But now that I know this number, I can be more intentional about things that I buy. I can watch videos for pure enjoyment. I can be more reflective on how I'm using my planners and my materials and figuring out what I need to reuse, where I'm spending my money, how I'm spending my money. Being aware, being well informed, that is 80% of the battle. And I did not do this at the beginning of the year. I did not sit down and reflect on what I spent in 2023 and what I need to change in 2024. And look where I ended up. Okay, I did take the time to reflect and evaluate in 2025 as the year went on, and I saved a significant amount of money. So if I do that again in 2026, my goal is to end up here. It's going to be tight, but I have enough money here to purchase so much stuff. When I buy planners usually at 40% off. I'm only spending $15 to $20 on a planner, right? So I can do this. It's just going to take commitment. So I'm going to put this number in my budget planner. I'm going to track this number every single month to see if I'm staying on track with it for planning supplies explicitly. I should say planning materials. Okay. Love this. All right. Let's take a moment and we are going to reference my reference sheet, to be honest with you. Let me get myself organized over here, y'all. Okay, we are going to reference this sheet. This is the sheet I was using to, help me fill out my numbers, because I did all this stuff before the video, right? So that I knew what I'd be talking about. And I just want to introduce a little bit about printing costs. I'm not going to spend a ton of time here on printing costs because, again, I have another video coming up about printing planners and how that can save you money, what to avoid, what it costs to get started. That actually is going to be a follow-up video to this one, so it will be posted sometime this week. But I did just want to show you my estimate for printing costs.
Okay guys, sorry, I had to do a voiceover for this section, so just stick with me. Yeah, I am anticipating that for 2026, I will spend $30 on ink. I've said before, I can print from one cartridge for or one tank for 18 months, so my paper, I buy HP premium paper. It's $20 per pack. I'm anticipating 3 packs for the year. My specialty paper, I am anticipating having to restock that once. So 2 instances of $50. Specialty paper is like vellum paper, cardstock, anything I use to help me make my planners. And then accessories are things like covers, vegan leather covers that I buy, discs, items such as that to help supplement my planner making. The accessories tend to be optional purchases only because I have so much of that stuff already. There's no guarantee I'm going to spend that amount. I don't have to spend any of that to make all of my planners in 2026 because I have more than enough covers and all of that stuff to make planners. I have a bucket full of discs because I don't throw those things away. I repurpose what I already have. So that is just a really good option if you are trying to get into printing your planners. But I do talk a little bit more about that when I go through the whole printing cost video a little bit later.
Let me say a couple things to you to close out this video. One, let me just say, I'm going to make probably this insert available to you guys for free and have it linked somewhere. I'll take the category labels out so that you can write whatever you want. But if you want to do something similar, then you can use this insert. I'll link that. And then finally, in closing, I just want to say, one, if you watched this whole video, thank you for watching the whole video. And two, I want to finish on a positive note. The planning community has helped me so much in my journey for self-care and well-being. And I can't really put a cost on that. And if it helps you, if it has helped you, or if you think it will help you in your journey, whatever that is, right? Whether it's faith, organization, spiritual enlightenment, self-care, well-being, whatever, nobody can put a cost on that but you. And whatever you spent or didn't spend or want to spend, will spend, there's nothing wrong with it. If it fits you, if it fits what you want to accomplish, if it fits your budget, there's nothing wrong with it. I went over this because I came to a couple of conclusions throughout the year. Some awareness hit me, and I know others struggle with it, right? I know others are a part of the community and they're wondering, wow, I spent a lot, or I'm going to leave the community because I'm fed up with the relentless hauls and nobody's planning and everybody's sharing a launch 5 launches per week, and so you get disillusioned and you leave the community completely, and nobody should have to feel that way, right? Just stay rooted in what makes sense for you. Watch and enjoy what you want to watch and enjoy, but stay centered on yourself, and then you don't have to leave the community. You can still enjoy the community, and that's just what I want to push on my channel, and that's what I want to encourage you to do. If that means looking over your budget like this, do it. If it means making changes for the next year, do it. If it means sticking to what you're already doing because you're good with how much you're spending, do it. Do whatever works for you. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope you have a happy week planning.